So I think that's we still got 3 minutes before the run starts. You can start the run whenever you'd like.
So it seems life will go on. It must.
It must. It must.
Okay, I guess we can introduce ourselves because I don't think we actually did. But I'm Kirby, and we have Gwimpage and Cool on call.
Hey.
What's up?
And Gwimpage is going to be the runner for Path of Radiance soon. But we're all nerds that like playing Fire Emblem a lot quickly, so that's how it be. Life will go on. Do you have the timer ready?
I do.
All right, perfect. 3, 2, 1, go. So yeah, the game was speedrun on normal difficulty because we like going fast, and classic difficulty because we like going fast. So whatever options lets us go as fast as possible. Normal difficulty is the most consistent because it's the easiest difficulty, and classic mode we want to play on because we don't want killed off units to come back alive because that wastes time.
If we kill them off, it's for a good reason.
It's for a good reason. Very good reason. But if you have a question about something that's weird, then either 1, I messed up, or 2, it's faster. That's probably the answer 90% of the time. But we're skipping cutscenes. We have this loading screen that you're going to see a lot of, and we're going to enter the prologue. I'm going to do a quick talk conversation with Edelgard in case Black Eagles wins. But otherwise, this first chapter is the same between all 3 houses. So yeah, conveniently enough on normal difficulty, Byleth with the combat art, Wrath Strike, has exactly enough damage to one-shot most of the enemies on this map. So that's very convenient. We're going to be relying on Byleth and her stats for the majority of part 1.
Yeah, this is a pretty short defeat boss map, so there's really not much to it aside from just moving forward.
And tutorials, Geralt telling you what to do.
Thanks, Geralt.
Dad's got to teach you about forest terrain.
All right, so we're getting our first level up. And every stat that is not named Charm is helpful, in some degree.
That's a bit of basic level up, by the way.
Even magic is helpful, but like, unfortunately, Charm is a really good stat casually in like most contexts. But in the speedrun context, Charm is like the least useful stat, and it's almost useless. And for Byleth at least. But yeah, any and every stat we get is helpful in some way. The most important stats are strength and speed, especially strength. Everything else is nice to have. Strength is how much damage you deal, and we have to hit certain thresholds in order to actually finish the run. Speed is important because you need speed to be able to double attack enemies, and you also want defense, HP, and resistance for bulk because you don't want Byleth to die in the middle of a chapter. Dexterity and luck are nice. They just help give you extra hit rates, and hit rates are rarely going to be 100% for the majority of this run, so every point of dexterity helps, and luck gives you a bit of extra crit, along with dexterity.
Yeah, there's some enemies that get pretty dodgy, so it's really nice having that extra.
Kranya! Kranya, yeah. So there will be times where I will be happy to get a dexterity level up or a speed level up, because once you get enough speed to double what you need to, speed doesn't really matter. But yeah, so this game introduces kind of like a time-based sort of mechanic where you can kind of explore around the monastery. We kind of want to do as little bit as possible because it costs time, it's slow, and we're going to be turning this into a FPS speedrun where you just stare at the ground all day because it reduces lag. And you save a lot of time doing this.
GoldenEye speedruns where you're literally looking at the ground.
Yeah. So yeah, just a quick quest. We have to talk to all 3 house lords. And then we're going to come up to the first real boss of the game, the door. And we got owned by the door, so that is run over against the first boss of the game, the door of loads.
Damn.
You can lose up to 10 seconds from that, which is really unfortunate, but you know.
The game's got to load the next area, so it keeps the door closed until the game's done loading.
Yeah. All right, so this is the most important part of the run. Okay, that's all. Where's Dimitri? Okay, there he is. All right, so the bit war can still go on right now but we're getting up to the point where we want to cut it off because we're about to pick which house to go with. So if you want to certain house to win, donate right now. And we can give it
Select
like
for
maybe
Ashen
20
Wolves.
seconds.
Well, I can tell you that we did get a $5 donation from Anonymous. No message. Thank you so much. Right now, that looks like the totals are still the same. So Blue Lions is ahead by, I didn't actually look at the math, even though it's like right in front of me, by an amount. By an amount. So we'll give it just another 10 seconds to see if anything comes in. But from most of it's going to be Blue Lions.
Mm-hmm. Most valued chivalry and excel at military arts.
All right, I gave it 10 seconds, and it's Blue Lions. So I think that's the winner of our pick.
No new donations then?
Nothing in yet. I could give it more time if you'd like, but from the looks of it, we don't have
I guess
any
we can
last
just
minutes.
refresh right now just in case. If there isn't anything new, then we can push forward.
Sure thing. I will refresh. And yeah, that looks like nothing new.
All right, Blue Lions it is. We're gonna kill every last one of them.
More
Oh my God,
foreshadowing.
you said the thing.
Yeah, so this house is actually the slowest of the 3 houses. Not by much though. But
Like the
yeah,
strats
every
that
house
you
speedrun
do?
speedrun for each route has something to offer really. So the Blue Lions has a lot of broken stuff that you get access to in part 2, which is really fun.
Yeah, all
But
the
Blue
different
Lions loses
houses
time
have
from
different
not
like
having warp.
all the 3 houses have different kind of like resources that they have unique to them. And Blue Lions actually gets some really fun gambits later on.
Yeah, like by far the Blue Lions gets the best support battalions in the game, which we'll get into that later. But yeah, so more tutorial stuff. We have to go to the monastery and do some mandatory quests because tutorials. So we have to talk to our dad, Geralt. Actually, no, that's next month. We have to talk to our house lord, which is Dimitri in this case. And then that's all we have to do. But we're going to run towards the greenhouse to unlock the warp point for that because later on we want to warp to that area to do another quest in a month or 2. And this is just a convenient time to run to the greenhouse and unlock it. So we're approaching the first actual chapter of the game, chapter 1, and it is the Battle of the 3 Houses. This is one of the 2 battles in the game where even if you're playing on classic mode, every death is not a real death because it's a mock battle. Doesn't really matter because usually you shouldn't have anyone die in most cases. But this is a route chapter, and route chapters are chapters where the objective is to defeat every unit on the map and kill every last one of them. There's a lot of variance that can happen in this chapter. Unfortunately, our pilot did not get strength on the first level up, so I'm going to have to take a slightly slower strat on turn 1, but it can't really be helped. Nope. But yeah, if you're a Sylvain or Felix or Ash fan, then this is a chapter for you because this is where they're actually going to do stuff on the run.
So can this
And it's
moment.
short-lived too. Oh my God, that's so sad.
Yeah, because at this point, our Byleth isn't really strong enough to like snowball anything because she's literally only getting 1 level. So we need to use the majority of our students to help out. We also want to make sure that Dimitri does not get any levels. And we'll get into that later on during the time skip on why that's the case.
Compared like the other students to your own units, they're not that much weaker. Like sure, it's normal mode, but like they still kind of do gang up on you and you'll die if you try solo. So it's faster just to use a bunch of your own units on top of Byleth and stuff.
Ash is really nice here because he can be used to lure out some of the 2-range units like Hubert and Claude to damage them on enemy phase, which is just enough for someone else to finish them on player phase. And we're going to move Ash down here to lure Claude over. Oh.
Oh!
I forgot my Byleth didn't get strength, so...
Could you see it happening? It's like...
Yeah, I forgot my Byleth didn't get strength, so yeah, that was a bit of an issue. The good thing is we're speedrunning on normal mode, so we can retain all of our experience when we game over and try again, which we kind of need because this Byleth is not cooperating with her stats. So I forgot you need a point of strength in your first 2 level ups for the strat to work out. So hopefully you get strength here soon.
I actually didn't know you retain your XP when you game over.
Yeah, like the first in normal mode, the game asks you, do you want to retain your experience? And then the game later asks you, do you want to retreat without retaining your experience? Which is what hard and maddening mode default to, and we still didn't get strength. Fantastic start. That's how it be, though. I mean, just at times there's really not much you can do about it.
It's the luck of the roll. What can you do?
Yep. What can you do?
Yeah,
So-
with Fire Emblem speedrunning, aside from the GBA games, there's a lot of adapting on the fly. And with this game, it's kind of tricky because, like, with all the black screens, it's easy to miss one little detail.
Okay. Dimitri's probably gonna get a level up in this run then because of this. Can't be helped though. All right. Well.
Oh no!
This is like the unluckiest run out there. I finally got my point of strength. Should I retain my experience? I don't know if I should. I got 1 point of strength, but it's also 1 strength out of 4 freaking levels. That's pretty bad. I'll retain it. Yeah, so I mean, in a serious run, I would have reset like 3 times over and just started over because this is an unacceptable start. But given this is a marathon setting, I got to keep going.
Yeah, by left strength growth is still like pretty good.
It's 45%, which is around like above average by this game standards.
I just want to point out that Ferdinand von Ayer was the one that ended that attempt.
Yeah, thanks, Ferdinand von Ayer. That's what I get for talking to him in a prologue.
You gave him the strength. You literally like handed him your strength.
I did. He took all my strength. That jerk. All right, so yeah, we're gonna get a lot of extra level ups from this because we're retaining our experience, but this Byleth is not off to a good start. But yeah, we can finally actually finish the chapter because she actually got a point of strength. Yay. Unfortunately, Golden Deer route also has a thing where like you have to rely on a level up and for a strat to work out. Otherwise, you have to just reset. In the Golden Deer's case, you have to wait. Like Cynthia has 2 chances to get magic, and if she doesn't get magic, then you reset because you can't continue to run with the current route. Well, now Byleth is getting a little speed screw because she's gained 1 point of speed out of 5 levels now. And 0 defense. And still 0 defense.
Marathon luck coming through.
Honestly, this is coming to the point where I may just use the DLC items just for marathon's sake if this trend continues. But we'll see. We've got quite a few levels to go.
In some Fire Emblem runs, there are some games where you can like control the level ups to a certain degree. This is not one of them. There's like 0 manipulation in this game.
Yeah, there
unfortunately.
isn't any real manipulation. You can kind of manipulate things like hit rates and stuff using a mechanic called Divine Pulse, but that's not really manipulating. That's more like using what you know of the RNG ahead of time, but you can't really manipulate that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was a fantastic chapter 1. Good start.
Is this a good time for just a small little announcement?
Oh yeah, go for it.
Sure. So
downtime heaven.
Oh, perfect. So no, we have not received any donations since, but I did want to talk a little bit about our prizes because I feel like we got some really cool prizes. We should talk about them. If you donate $10, you're entered to win a signed cipher card bundle. You can see the list of voice actors that signed the cards in each bundle by typing !prizes and clicking on the Google Sheets link in the chat. A lot of them are really cool. If you donate $25, you're entered to winning signed cipher cards by I don't have the pronunciation. I'm gonna mess up his name again.
Soida Ipe.
There you go. There's the name. So that's really cool. And then $50 gets you entered into winning our grand prize, which is a signed copy of Fire Emblem 3 Houses Special Edition, and it's signed by Tara Platt, Chris Hackney, and Josasia, who voiced the 3 lords in the game. So that's a really cool prize. If you want to be entered into winning, just please feel free to donate. But yeah, you guys can get back to the run.
Yep, nothing happened. We're just doing mandatory quests because it's tutorial heaven. Like, for the first half of the run is going to be like the first 7-8 chapters, just because there's so much fluff in the early on with all these tutorials and monastery visits. But like once you get past like chapter 7 or 8, then the run pace just kind of picks up more because you're not bogged down by those things anymore. So yeah, Three Houses has like this instructional mechanic where you can set characters' goals to train them in specific skill sets. The main thing to note is that we're setting Dimitri to Axes and Flying, and Annette to Faith and Authority. So we want to use Dimitri in part 2 and use him as a Wyvern Rider, so we're training him up in Axes and Flying in order to be able to certify him as a Wyvern Rider, which requires, I believe, B Axes, C Flying. And then we're also going to set Annette to Faith and Authority, so that she can use high-rank battalions, which we'll get into that later. And Faith, so she can learn Recover just for 1 chapter, which saves like 2 seconds. But yeah, so this is the only mandatory auxiliary battle in the game. The auxiliary battles are basically grinding battles that you can do. This one's mandatory. We're going to use it as an opportunity to train up Byleth and hopefully get good levels. I'm going to save in case I get like 4 terrible levels in a row.
Yeah, ideally Byleth's gonna get some stats.
Yeah, she typically hits level 9 here. She might hit level 10 because I've reset it twice, retaining my experience.
Chapter 1 stuff.
But yeah.
Yeah, this chapter's pretty comfy. Just like all the enemies just run at you. So if you just park yourself on a forest, you can just like sit there until the chapter's over.
I'm kind of concerned because she still gained 0 points of defense this entire run. Slightly concerning. She's gained 0 defense out of 9 levels.
Come on, girl, you can do it.
And she still gained 0 defense out of 9 levels.
Can you supplement a shield for that sort of thing, or is that not?
You can, but you lose speed, and also you want to equip the accuracy ring for the majority of the run, so you don't really have space for a shield. So in other words, I'm probably screwed. We'll see what happens.
Are we gonna go Armor Knight Byleth for the?
Oh my god.
12 death
I could
phase?
totally do that, honestly. But Armor Knight needs Lance and...
It is. So
is it Axe and Armor or Lance and Armor?
I'm pretty sure it's Axe and Armor.
It's Axe and Armor, yeah.
So tedious.
Okay,
Trading up
so
Byleth.
that's probably not happening then. Unfortunate. So yeah, since we're still in the tutorial month, we're also going to learn how to do seminars, which is really nice for speedruns because it's basically a shortcut of skip this weekend, but still train everyone in this skill set. This one is mandatory, but we're going to use Manuela to raise Byleth's sword rank up and also Annette's faith rank. I mean, other options don't really give us anything else we need.
Oh no, it's the sad chapter.
It's a sad chapter. Maybe I should just promote her into a mercenary. Yeah, I might as well. Better growth rates. Normally, you don't promote into a mercenary because you're level 9, but because I've had such a really bad Byleth that retains so much experience from all the game overs, she's level 10 now, which is not what normally happens. But whatever. Take advantage of it.
We're gonna have +1 movement for this chapter too.
Yeah, it's gonna throw things off. I'm just gonna pretend I don't have +1 movement because otherwise it's gonna throw off a lot of my muscle memory. So we're just gonna throw everyone's equipment into the convoy because we don't need it. That's it. Yeah, okay. So yeah, this is a chapter where we will kill every last one of them.
Oh no.
Unfortunately. By kill every last one of them, I mean killing every last one of our own students. Because it's faster. Sword, bow, one array.
You're killing almost every last one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Byleth's such a good professor.
I know.
Which she's not
You want to pick the worst
she's
answer
killing
for
them
every
all.
lecture question.
Giving bad
Unfortunately,
advice.
Ash died 2 turns later than he's supposed to, so this is going to take a long time. I'm going to lose a lot of time from that. Because he was being a dodge tank when he should die in 1 turn. And yeah, this Byleth is not doing very well.
Man, Ash is doing better than Byleth.
Yeah, we're gonna see how this turns out. I may have to resort to using the DLC items if this trend continues, which in typical speedruns is not really used because it's considered a separate category, but for marathon purpose, since I actually want to finish a run, I may use them if I have to. But yeah, archers have 3 range in this game, but for some reason, if you put Byleth in that specific spot with a bow, then that archer attacks you at 2 range and dies on enemy face. I don't know why, but don't ask me.
There's all sorts of AI quirks. Like
Should be everyone.
Darn, everybody's dead.
Every last one of them.
So
literally
0
always
defense
each
out of
game.
12 levels now.
You only have like 3 units right now, don't you? Violet, Dimitri, and Annette.
Yeah, Byleth, Dimitri, and Annette are the only units we have alive now. Yeah, 0 defense out of 12 levels. I think it's 12. This bodes very well for us. Okay.
Can we say
But for reference, her defense growth is 35%, so she should have gotten around 4 points on average at this point. So at this point, if I use a DLC item, she's still below average. That's how sad this is. This is the comedy run. So this is what happens if you continue a run that's baited to not get a personal best.
Sometimes the game just says no.
Yeah, the game just says no at times, and that's how it is. I mean, thankfully, this Byleth is doing fine on strength now. She has 20 strength, so that's like, with the mercenaries bonuses, that's like around 6 points of strength, which is around average, I think. But yeah, so this is the reason we unlocked the greenhouse as a warp point, so we can warp to this quest here, bolstering forces, and accept it. This is a forced quest, but you kind of want to do this quest anyways, because we want to purchase the most broken battalion in all of existence, Seros Holy Monks. It is a E-rank battalion, meaning anyone who is not a flying class can use it. That gives the ability Stride. And Stride, it's something. I think for one turn, it buffs up to 13 units movement by +5 for one turn. I think it's 13. 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, 13.
Hmm?
We're actually not going to use it that much over the next few chapters, just because like the maps are small enough that it's not worth the time it takes to use Stride, or it's just kind of inconvenient to use it. But soon, the Stride is going to be a very regular thing we're going to abuse. Okay. So we're off to chapter 3 now. This is a Fog of War chapter, and they give you like a nice tutorial on Fog of War on how horrible it is, because everyone only has 2 ranged of vision for some reason. And then you never see Fog of War again in the main game, thankfully. So this is a defeat boss chapter, and you have to defeat Lord Lonato, who is in the upper left corner, but he does not spawn until you clear the fog. And to clear the fog, you have to take out a dark mage in the middle of the map. So it's kind of mandatory to take him out. And we also get to see Lag Heaven, because fog makes the game lag more. But yeah, and then this is where we're going to start facing enemies with offensive gambits. If you get hit by an offensive gambit, you get rattled, which is really bad, because all of your stats go down by a huge amount, and you cannot move for the turn. Which is where Charm is supposed to come in handy, because Charm helps you avoid gambits and such, but the speedrun routes are designed such that you want to avoid any chances of gambits at all in the first place, period. So in that sense, Charm is not very useful, because in cases where it doesn't matter if you want to evade gambits or not, the strats are designed around just not having any chance at all of facing gambits.
It's kind of crazy how bad it is to get rattled. You're almost always dead.
Yeah, you're pretty much dead.
Because you also lose a bunch of avoids, so like on top of your stats being lowered, you're also getting hit more.
So yeah, I'm actually going to use a bow here to take out an enemy unit. And that also means that units nearby are not going to use gambits on me, because they have a tendency to use gambits if they can't attack you without being counterattacked. So if I had like a sword or a gauntlet equipped, then those guys would have tried to use gambits on me. But because I used a bow and I can't counterattack at one range, then they just attack me normally, and there's no chance of me getting rattled. So, yeah. So, yeah, this battle is doing pretty well, except for defense. What is that? 14 levels, no defense now?
Yikes.
I believe that's what we call marathon luck.
Yeah, marathon luck indeed. I mean, I'd rather be defense screwed than strength screwed. But still.
You can only get so lucky.
You can only get so lucky. And like dodge tanking isn't, well, at least off of raw stance, dodge tanking isn't very reliable because in most Fire Emblem games, 1 point of speed gives you 2 avoid. And there's also a weapon triangle to take into account, which can give you like 10 avoid or 15 avoid in some cases. This game does not have an innate weapon triangle, and also you only get 1 avoid out of 1 point of speed. So dodge tanking is really difficult to do in this game off of raw stats, at least. It's really easy to become a dodge tank with other tools like abilities and skills and battalions, but you can't really dodge tank super well off of just your stats. So yeah, we want to answer all the worst questions here for all the students and be an amazing professor, because if we answer any question that they are neutral to or really like, then we lose time from the motivation meter going up. And the text box saying, students' motivation went up. So you want to memorize all the worst answers and try to pick those. It's not really much of a time loss if you pick the wrong answer. And by wrong answer, I mean the neutral or correct answer. So like if you don't remember which is the worst answer, you might as well just smash, because it's not worth spending like over a second thinking about it. Yeah, this chapter is pretty straightforward, and we're going to see a quick glimpse of the power of stride. This is also the first glimpse we get of Donkey Kong. He's kind of chilling in the middle of the map, and he kind of kills you if you do anything to him, because he's really OP. So we're just going to barrel around him a bit.
I hate the amount of puns you just squished into.
Right. Slight issue because my battalion is now dead, actually, so I'm not getting any of the battalion bonuses, but it shouldn't matter for this chapter. So yeah, when you have a battalion equipped, they also kind of have their own health bar, which is endurance. And whatever damage you take, half of that goes to is how much your battalion takes too. And if your battalion's endurance at 0, then you lose that battalion temporarily for the most part. You don't get their bonuses, and you can't use their gambit. But like, this is the last chapter before we're going to replenish it anyway, and we don't really need the bonuses from our battalion too much right now. We will next chapter pretty badly, but for now, it's okay. Speaking of battalions, the one that Byleth has equipped is probably one of the best ones in the game. It's Geralt's Mercenaries. I mean, if you compare it to like an A-rank battalion, it's not that impressive, but it's an E-rank battalion, meaning anyone grounded can equip it. And it gives you 10 crit, 15 avoid, 4 attack, I think?
I think it's 3, but it's still
3
really good for an E-rank battalion.
Yeah, given it's an E-rank battalion, it's so good. And we're going to be using it for quite a while in part 1, just because it's really good. And we don't have time to really train up our own authority.
And Byleth starts with it equipped already, so it just saves time.
Yeah, you might as well just keep it. So, I think I'm going to go to the monastery. I'm not supposed to, but I'm going to go there just to get the DLC items, just in case. But unfortunately, if you visit the monastery on this month, then you're forced to do a quest, which is going to cost like about a minute. But marathon luck, what are you going to do about it? Time to cheat.
Pay to win.
So you cannot actually exit the monastery until you do this quest, if you visit on this month, which is annoying. I have something to ask of you. So, fun fact, you want to talk to Geralt, who's like around this area, but warping to the reception hall to go there is slower, because for some reason, if you warp to the reception hall and try to run to the graveyard, the game's load is so unoptimized that the door takes forever to open. Whereas if you warp farther away from where I am now, you don't have to face any doors that block your way. So it's a lot faster to just warp further away for some reason. Why? Don't ask me.
Doors.
Oh, wait, I wasn't supposed to accept that. Oh, well, whatever. But yeah, I love this game. It's not very good from a optimization standpoint, though, and that's putting it lightly. But this game's still awesome, though. The Golden Deer route actually does visit the monastery on this month, because the Golden Deer route, what they do is they train up Byleth hit level 15 as soon as possible. meaning you actually kind of go out of your way to grind her a bit to get chip experience. And then you visit the monastery on this month to recruit Catherine, because you need to be level 15 to recruit her. And then Catherine's really useful because in the Golden Year route, you can just warp her early on to just slaughter anything you want early game. But Blue Lions and Black Eagles do not have access to warp this early, so
Oh no!
you can't really do that.
This chapter is really fun without warp, by the way.
I actually tried to route in training Violet to be an archer, and it saves around almost a minute on this chapter alone because you can just snipe the boss, Miklon, across like halfway across the map with curve shot. But unfortunately, that route, while it's technically faster, it adds its own set of issues, like missing out on an accuracy ring, missing out on steel gauntlets, things like that, and it's just less reliable all around. But yeah, so I'm moving Violet in very specific tiles to lure over the archers on the top floor. And this is to aggro all the units on the top floor as soon as possible, so they start moving towards me. The timing mostly works out really nicely in that once I encounter the enemies that I just aggroed, I can kind of just go around them and kind of ignore them for the rest of the map. And then ideally, Gilbert will get far enough to distract them for me so I don't have to deal with them. Ideally. But given this is Gilbert we're talking about, that's probably not going to happen. Gilbert's a green unit, by the way. We all know how awesome green units are.
What do you mean Gilbert's OP? He's got like -6 avoid.
Negative 2 attack speed. Let's go.
Let's go. So yeah, all the enemies are kind of... Yeah, see, there's this massive swarm of enemies here now, but we can just kind of go around like this and not care about them. And I think I'm going to go ahead and use this floral robe. Because I am almost guaranteed to die like 5 times in this map without the DLC item, because I have no defense. You know what I'm looking forward to? Getting defense from certifying as an Enlightened one. Of course! Of course! It happens in a marathon run! Oh! Okay, so that's a 92% chance of hitting, and it's finally happened in a run. The first time it's ever happened in a run, so I don't really have a backup for that. I think I'm just going to chill here for a turn and hopefully roll different RNs for that. Because I have to land an 80% Gambit on that night, which is a 92% chance of hitting because this game runs off of the 2 RN system. And you want to Gambit this guy because if you don't rattle him, then he's going to Gambit you, and that's really bad.
And he's actually pretty bulky, so him losing a little bit of defense helps.
Mm-hmm. He actually hits you pretty hard too, because he's gonna use a combat out on you, on enemy phase, and he hits pretty hard if you don't dodge. So yeah, I'm not supposed to have this giant traffic jam here, because yeah, this Byleth is really bad.
And
Oh no.
I'll try a Gambit here. I should kill the knight and the archer on enemy face, and then hopefully the other archer that's blocking me will move away and attack me at 3 range. But
that's your first point of death in a while.
I try this then instead of killing the archer. Maybe I'll roll enough. Okay, we're alive.
Okay. I think that was your last Divine Pulse too.
It probably was my last Divine Pulse. This Byleth is so bad.
Oh god, you're gonna have to kill Miklon before the giant horde of enemies behind you catch you.
No.
No.
I am actually not going to retain that experience. I think. Yeah, that's. I don't want to because I gain like no defense from all those levels except like one of them. Did I save? I think I did.
It makes an auto save. Anyways.
Well, we'll see.
What, the Spyleth got like 1 defense and
She got 1 defense. She got her first point of defense out of like 16 levels. But no defense in any other level ups, so. This is not how a speedrun normally looks, because I'm continuing because this is a marathon setting, I'm obligated to continue a run that's almost incompletable at this point. But that's how it be in runs where you don't have like manipulation or consistent level ups or anything like that. Nothing you can really do about it.
The estimate was pretty generous, so you will be fine.
I did give like a 2-hour estimate, which is super generous because I should be beating the game in less than an hour and a half. But we'll see. So yeah, hopefully we'll actually get a point of defense earlier this time. And also not miss a 92% chance again.
Yeah, with how much Byleth fights, it really does matter to at least have a few more extra points of defense.
Mm-hmm.
Really
The archers all have 15 attacks, so right now with my base defense, I'm taking 9 damage per hit. Whereas normally on average you would have like around 11 defense, so you're 11 or 12, so you will be taking 3 or 4 damage per hit. So I'm effectively taking triple damage than usual from all the archers, which is why I'm dying so quickly. I'm gonna record that actually for fun. Just to record this how bad this Byleth defense is. And I'm gonna tweet it out. But yeah, so the nice thing we get from that knight is the accuracy ring, which when equipped gives you plus 10 accuracy. And accuracy is very important in the speedrun because you want as much reliability as possible. I'm gonna do this, I guess. Yeah, I think this is a good idea. I'll kill that upper archer on enemy phase, and then I can take out the last one on player phase. Actually, never mind. Swarm of enemies is coming. I took out 2 archers at least, so that's 16 less damage per turn I'm taking hits from. So, which is a lot because I can only heal 10 HP per turn. All right.
Ooh, imagine if Miklon moved on enemy phase.
Not on
One
normal,
shot your
thank you.
Byleth.
All right. Good chance we're just gonna die on this turn, but we'll see what happens. We got Gilbert to distract some enemies for now, so we're probably okay.
Ooh, monster fights in this game are pretty fun.
Yeah, so this should take out that health bar. So this is the first chapter where we're introduced to monsters. They have yellow barriers where they take, I think, half damage from everything. The only way to break a barrier is to either hit it twice, or use a gambit on it, or use an effective weapon on it, which we don't really have good access to either of those anymore. So we're just gonna have to try to do as much damage as we can while doing half damage. Just gonna wait, because I kind of need to just chill and camp on this heal tile so I don't die. I have 5 uses left. All right, so that knight's out of the way. Okay, I got lucky there. Byleth would have not killed the monster on that turn, but I got a Crest of Flames proc. Crests are kind of another thing in this game that the game introduces. Some units have a unique crest, which gives you like a chance of a certain effect. Oh my goodness. Okay, good. Byleth has the Crest of Flames, which when you attack, you have a 25% chance of healing yourself a bit when you attack. And if it activates, you also have a 1/4 chance of doing 5 extra damage and preventing the enemy from counterattacking. I think that's the percentages. So I got that procced in one of those attacks, which is just enough to take out a health bar, which is really nice. Oh no, it's 20% to heal yourself, and if you hit the 20%, then you have another 25% chance to do extra damage. So roughly 5% chance to do extra damage and prevent a counterattack.
Yeah, the difference between depleting a health bar or not is like literally a turn. when you're 1v1ing a monster, so it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, the monster is annoying because like the monsters are designed such that you attack them with multiple units because you can't kill a monster in one turn since there's a cap to how much damage you can deal given the health bar, and they have multiple health bars. So trying to solo it with Byleth can be kind of a chore because you also have to balance out whether you want to heal yourself or try to set up a counterattack an enemy phase and so on. But yeah, so hope you're enjoying this Byleth that's gained 1 defense so far and is level 19 now, I think.
I think we had 20.
We had 20. Oh, nice. 1 defense out of 20 levels. Hooray. Wait, is there anything I can certify us to fix that? Not right now.
No.
Comedy run.
The only thing you're probably gonna get is an enlightened one.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna have to bank on an
And
enlightened
that's
one.
like 12 defense.
So we're gonna make a visit to the monastery. This is not mandatory, but the main reason we're doing this is to recruit a really good unit named Shamir, because she is a unit that just joins as a sniper who can attack at 3 to 4 range, and she just has really good base stats all around too. And we're gonna take this opportunity to reset our goals to something else as well. Because the only reason we set Annette to Faith this entire time is for her to learn Recover, and she just learned Recover. And you're going to see it being used on this chapter and this chapter alone.
Mind if I just say a quick thing?
Go for it. If it's really quick, sure. There's a lot to talk about in this chapter later.
All right, really quick thing. Speaking of Shamir, her voice actor, Allegra Clark, will be joining us later today in the stream, so feel free to come and check that out. She'll be joining us during the party game block. That's it. That's all I want to say.
She also voiced Dorothea, I think.
Yes, Dorothea.
Fantastic job.
Oh, incredible. Also does Ethlyn and Carla in Heroes. So she does those 4 as well. And, of course, other games.
Lots of other games. Okay, so I'm going to take a bit of time to explain this chapter. This is a route chapter where your goal in the chapter is to use these warp points or go through on land here and kill every unit on the map that's not Donkey Kong. Or you can end the chapter by just killing Donkey Kong, who is in this chamber here. And to go to that chamber, you kind of have to go all the way around like this, or use these warp points. But who cares? We have Shamir, so we're just gonna poke at him at 4 range with Curve Shot, because Curve Shot is a bow-based combat art, which gives you +1 range, and snipers already have innate 3 range, so she can start picking off at the Death Knights from range. Unfortunately, if Shamir just attacks Curve Shot, she gets doubled and will die on a counterattack, which is why we're using Annette to rally her. By giving her rally strength, that gives Shamir just enough speed to not get doubled. Because that rally strength mitigates exactly 1 point of speed loss from the weapon weights, which works out really nicely. But yeah, so that is Shamir's chapter to kill. This is pretty much Shamir's shining chapter here. She's going to be used for combat a little bit here and there throughout part 1, but that's about it.
Yeah, it's actually quite a big deal being able to kill Donkey Kong through the wall there, because there's not very many other units that can kind of cheese this chapter as hard as Shamir and Lysithea can.
And by Lysithea, he means warp. Which is only accessible in Golden Deer route, because again, another strat difference that you'd see in the Golden Deer route is that you have warp at this point, so you just warp Catherine into the Death Knight's room and just say, "Hello there, how's it going? Here, have a crit from Catherine." But all the other routes rely on Shamir, because you don't have warp access to warp at that point. Okay, so chapter 7's coming up, and this is like the big chapter where runs go to die. Yeah, if you thought all the times that I had to reset or game over were major run killers, no, the run's not supposed to die there. This chapter is where the run's supposed to die, because Byleth dies to everything really easily with good defense. And given that she's at 7 defense, we might have a minor issue here, but we'll figure things out.
This is probably like the craziest chapter of the run. Like anything can happen.
Yeah, like this is a huge route chapter, and it's a 3-way battle between you and the other 2 houses. The other 2 houses, you want them to kill each other as much as possible because it saves you time from having to kill them. But as you can if you couldn't tell, that there's a lot of variance with what can happen with that. So usually you have like a consistent like first 2 or 3 turns of a strat, but then after that, the chapter just kind of turns into a insert curse word show, and you just kind of have to improv everything and hope you don't lose like over a minute.
Yeah, so in most Fire Emblem runs that aren't manipulated, all the maps at least have a relatively consistent strategy, save for like a few of them. For this reason exactly, because you don't want to improv, because it can snowball really badly.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
All right,
this
so
map
we
has a
just
really
got
good-
Flame, and she's a really good unit. In that for support, she can heal us, and we're actually gonna bring her along with us on this chapter. Both because she can do a little bit of nice chip damage, and more importantly, she can heal us, and she has a personal skill, which is Lily's Poise. What it does is it reduces damage of adjacent allies by 3 damage. Might be 3, either 3 or 2, which we kind of need because this Byleth is not very bulky, to put it kindly. So yeah. Congratulations. That is the second point of defense. Alright, so we're gonna bonk Bernadette here because we don't want her sniping Flame over and over again. Okay, so there's a group of Cavaliers here. Not a group of Cavaliers. There's Ferdinand von Ayer and 2 Pegasus Knights, and for some reason, they will always attack Byleth. Even though they can very easily just kill Flame. Right there. Why? I don't know, but it's convenient. Very convenient, because that means we can just keep playing right next to Byleth, and she only gets attacked by Ignatz for the archer here, which now we can bonk on this turn and land a nice 69 there.
Nice.
Nice.
Nice. Okay.
It's a little hard to tell what's going on if you're not familiar with the map, but there's a giant big battle happening just over the hill.
Yeah, like
Enemies
imagine
are-
this group, except with twice as many units. That's what the map started with.
Enemies are missing, enemies are dying, and we don't really know what's going on exactly.
Ideally, you would have as many Black Eagles survive as possible, so you can have some of them hopefully lure Claude's archers to them and distract them, because these archers, you cannot kill an enemy face since they have 3 range. But that's really rare, because the Black Eagles on this map are really weak, and they will almost always die to the Golden Deer. This should work. So yeah, another annoying thing is Petra here, which you can kind of see on the right side of the map, does not move until she gets attacked, so it's kind of annoying. If you're playing Black Eagles, she's replaced by Felix, who again has the same behavior, where he's just going to kind of chill there until you attack him, or someone attacks him.
Petra's always really dangerous whenever she's an enemy unit.
Yeah, she has Alert Stance Plus, I think, so if you attack, or Keen Intuition, one of the two, or both. I don't remember.
On Maddening, she has Alert Stance Plus. I'm not sure on normal, though.
Restore OP.
Restore OP. Yeah, so conveniently enough, Flame already comes in with Restore learned and Rescue learned as well, which gives you some options. Okay, Flame doesn't technically come in with Rescue learned, but if you don't change her goal, she's guaranteed to learn Rescue by this chapter, so she basically starts with Rescue learned, and Rescue is a spell that you can use to bring faraway units up to the user, which can be handy in a few situations. But Flame's on her job for the chapter, so we're just gonna have her run away. And slowly but surely pick away at these archers one by one. We also want to lure Claude over right now, so I'm going to attack from this tile. But honestly, all things considered, this went pretty well. Like, the fact, I don't think I Divine Pulse a single time.
It could have been way worse.
Like, this is not representative of how this chapter normally goes. This went really smoothly.
I've seen attempts where like literally one army is just almost completely intact and bypass the solo them pretty much.
The scariest thing
No.
is if you're playing Golden Deer or Black Eagles, you're facing the Blue Lions, and then like the Blue Lions as an enemy is really OP. So usually you're gonna see like Dedu and Ingrid just marching towards you together soon, and you're like, oh god, oh god, oh god, because Dedu's like impossible to kill. He hits you really hard, and Ingrid flies, and she hits you really hard, and it's really fast. So it's like the marching death of Dedu Ingrid. They're just gonna destroy you. But thankfully, we're playing as the Blue Lions, so we don't have to worry about that.
Because we killed them.
Yeah, we killed them. Okay. So we're up to chapter 8. And yeah, this is like the second half of part 1, and the music's gonna become awesome. And the pace of runs kind of pick up from here on out too, because there aren't going to be very many like tutorials or cutscenes or whatnot. It's only going to be one more monastery visit in a run, ideally.
Yeah, we're gonna get some more access to some really good tools that'll make chapter clears way faster. Like next chapter, we get our dancer.
I did forget to mention, I set Dimitri to writing. The reason for that is so at C writing, you learn a really good ability called Dexterity +4. It's really good, not because it's in itself is really good like Deathblow or anything, but it's really good because you can get it really easily for like no cost at all in a speedrun. So it's basically for a free hit, basically.
And that adds up because Dimitri fights a lot.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we kind of want to check how much strength we have at this point. Ideally, we'll be at least 24 strength, which we do. We have 26, so we can use a faster strat in this chapter. Because 24 strength is a threshold in order for one rounding the armor knights in this map. Otherwise, you have to kind of use a different strat that is a... Yeah, these guys here. Or I can just crit and make it not matter at all, but hey. But you're kind of bottlenecked by Solon's spawn because he doesn't turn into Solon until like turn 2 or 3. Anyway, so it doesn't really matter to try to beat this in like 1 or 2 turns because you can't. The fastest you can beat this chapter in terms of turn count is enemy face turn 2, I think. But you need like Retribution, which allows you to counterattack everything and kill him at 3 range in enemy phase. But this is a speedrun, so we don't really care much about turn counts. There are like a lot of overlapping similarities between turn counts and LTCs. Like, you generally want to go fast, you want to abuse Warp, Stride, Dancers a lot. You want to train up like a really good unit, but they differ in the measurement of, well, how you measure the run. One uses time, the other uses turns. And there's a really big difference between how that works because LTCs will go out of their way to try to give like as much experience as possible to your other units, as long as you don't actually lose turns out of it, or do a lot of like monastery setups or whatnot. Whereas in speedruns, you don't want to do that at all. You'd rather just waste a turn instead of doing that.
Yeah, in this game, you can actually like afford to just wait another turn out if it's faster because skip enemy phase.
Skipping.
What's an enemy phase? But even outside of games that skip enemy phases, there are times where just ending a turn is still faster. So.
Or like taking a few extra turns to get items or whatever.
Yeah. Which you'll see in Gwimpage's run. So yeah, we're gonna take a bit of a detour to recruit Manuela because she learns Warp, which is nice. And we also accepted a quest that allows us to pick a dancer. And okay, so I need to run to the cathedral because we want to make Flane our dancer, but because the cathedral takes forever to load, we go up to the loading screen and then take this time to set up some goals because we lose basically no time from this since the load takes forever because well-optimized game. And then we talk to Flame here, make her a dancer, which she's very excited about. So Flame is the option as a dancer because her base charm is high enough to automatically pass the dancing competition. And this is the only time where charm is super relevant because you need charm to become a dancer. No other unit has enough charm to become a dancer 100% of the time. In other routes, you use Sylvain. Because if you recruit Sylvain on this chapter, he also has enough base charm to pass the dancer competition. And it is faster to use Sylvain on Golden Deer and Black Eagles route. And in those routes, you have to use Byleth, female Byleth, because, you know, the reason you recruit Sylvain is because he's free to recruit if you're a girl.
So who's dancing then?
Raphael!
Capture taken.
Good photography choices.
Yes.
I don't know. I know who my vote's going for. Just saying.
Dude, Raphael outdanced Dorothea. Hold this
Dorothea
third place.
versus Raphael. Who's a better dancer? Apparently Raphael. So we're coming up to one of the biggest run killers in a run, and I'll point it out when we get there. We're apparently marrying Dimitri, although we're not going to get the ring, so we're not going to marry anyone in this playthrough, because it costs time.
Well worth, I suppose. I appreciate your effort.
So we got some tea leaves, which is really annoying because every time someone's birthday happens on the calendar, you can just kind of mash B and just skip it. But if you have any tea leaves, then the game will pull up a really slow menu asking you if you want to host a tea party. I don't really know if it's faster to sell all your tea leaves like that or not. I do it because I don't have to think about menuing that on every birthday. So it's just convenient for me. But some people don't bother selling their tea leaves and would rather just menu that. Kind of personal preference, I feel like.
It's really inconvenient if you do actually accidentally invite for a tea party.
Yeah. Okay, we got past the biggest run killer in the run, which is forgetting to reclass Flame into a dancer. So this is a route chapter, and we have 4 monsters to take care of. Shamir is going to be playing an important role here by distracting this monster with the gambit, because when you use an offensive gambit on a monster, they will always attack. Well, prioritize targeting whoever used the gambits.
Stay focused.
So I was hoping for a crit there, but we didn't get the crit, unfortunately. So we're going to use Manuela to chip away at this barrier and break it, and also finish off the health bar. Then we're going to dance for Byleth and then finish off this health bar, because the barrier is broken. And then by moving a unit up here, that makes these 2 monsters up here move towards you for some reason, instead of towards the students. Why? I don't know. And I also don't know why this monster doesn't attack Annette when he can just kill her easily, but I'm not complaining.
Much needed.
Okay, so I did not want to do that.
Stay focused.
Okay, so we took out a health bar, which is good.
Let us away. Thank you. Be mindful.
We got defense. Okay, how much damage you do to me? You kill me, I think. Yes, you do.
I'll cut through. I own caution is prudent.
Manuela doesn't... She's gonna get attacked. Guess we'll see what happens with this. Hopefully she dodges. Nope. Player faces here. I rallied. That's...
You'd probably just move Byleth somewhere else when she engages.
I can heal like this. It's fine. And then I can dance from this side.
Let us away.
Yeah.
Stay focused.
Because that monster shouldn't be able to reach from there. I think.
Improv.
Improv. Which you don't want to see happen, but, you know, that's how it be sometimes.
I'm grateful.
Alright, so convenient if you keep all the students alive in this map, which is trivial in this difficulty and speedrun route, you get an energy drop, which is a stat booster that increases strength by 2, which is really good because strength is the most important stat in the speedrun. If your Byleth is like strength screwed at this point, you can use the energy drop on her to help out, but ideally you don't have to use it, so you can save it for part 2.
So now we got Stride and our Dancer.
We got Stride and a Dancer. And we still have Stride and a Dancer for this map. Wait, we could, if we have time for a little bit of plugs or donations, then this is a good time to squeeze in some.
Yeah, that's fine. We just received a $15 donation from user MythSci. No message, but thank you very much for that generous 15.
Also, just wanted to use the time a little bit to talk about Extra Life again. Just a good always thing to bring up. Extra Life is a organization that helps raise money for Children's Miracle Network hospitals, which help or utilize the funds that they receive to research cures for cancer and other diseases that can plague children. It's a really cool cause. It's a really good cause, and we're happy to be supporting them.
Thank you. How much strength did Byleth have? I think it was 27.
At the start of the last chapters with 26, I believe. I'm not sure if she
saw
got a
27.
level.
She must have gotten a level. So
Probably.
27. If she had 0 magic, she has exactly enough strength to one-shot Kranya with Sublime Heaven, meaning I need at least 10 magic in order to one-shot her at 1 range, which is ideal. If I think my magic stat is in the doubles. Oh wait, I'm 26. 30. That's not enough. Never mind. Yeah, okay, that's not enough, unfortunately, but that's okay. So what I'm calculating here is trying to calculate if I can one-shot the boss of this chapter with Sublime Heaven, which is a combat art that only Byleth can use. It's a really good combat art. It's boosted by your magic stat by magic times 30%. Ideally, I can one-shot the boss of this chapter at 1 range because Kranya is a jerk, and she takes 3 less damage from you if you attack her at 1 range. But if you attack her at range, then she gets plus 30 avoid. So yeah, this is legitimately like the big run kill of the run. Like right here, we have 57 hit, and if we attack her up close, then we're gonna be 1 point short of one-shotting her.
She's also standing on a terrain tile. Like
yeah. So like we ideally want to one-shot at 1 range so we can take advantage of the 87 hit, but can't be helped. What's more reliable is probably going for Steel Gauntlet, a double 65. Yeah, that looked a lot easier than it did, but no. that chapter can go wrong in so many ways. Because Kranya is a jerk. She sucks. Okay, so now we just got OP Byleth. Super Saiyan Byleth. And we're gonna we keep our stride from the previous turn, thankfully, because we just killed Kranya and with this effective stride, so we can kind of move Byleth all the way up here without worrying about anything. And we're gonna use auto battle fallback to get Annette, Manuela, and Dimitri out of range, which barely works out.
Yeah, this chapter's weird. Once you start the second phase, like it moves up all of your units, and there's like a ton of units like around the map, so it's kind of awkward getting them out of the way. But thankfully, auto battle works out.
If you kill Kranya on an enemy phase, then in the next part of the map, it starts as enemy phase, so you can just die and lose all your units like that. The same thing happens in Miklon's chapter, actually. It's the same thing there. Like, if you kill Miklon on an enemy phase, and then you face the monster is going to move first, because it's still enemy phase of the same turn. But I think those are only 2 chapters that behave like that.
Yeah. But, like, if you had to wait another turn out, like, your starting units probably would have been in trouble. There's just so many enemies on the screen.
Almost done with part 1. Okay, 2 more chapters, I think. And we're going to see Certified into the Enlightened one. And, yeah.
Nice +2 depth. That could have been +5.
Yeah, better than +5, I guess. So how certifications work in this game, when you promote to a class, if a character's stat is lower than the class's stats, look, the class's base stat, then it gets bumped up to that. So the Enlightened one's base defense is 12, and Violet's defense was so bad that it got bumped up to 12, which almost never happens. So, yeah. Got a much needed defense boost.
I've seen your signs at previous events where people hold up one for strength and one for agility. Do we need one for defense now?
Maybe. During Claris's run, who was the runner at AGDQ this year and ran Golden Deer, I also asked her if she didn't mind me bringing all the signs, and we of course had them on the sofa because they're too fun. Yeah, Violet's got a total of 1 point of defense on her first 20 levels. It was fantastic. Answering chat. Okay, so Shamir takes this battalion, and then Manuela removes her battalion because we don't want to watch it level up. All right, so this is a defeat boss chapter. We have to fight Aelgar, the Flame Emperor. Spoilers. Who is up on a ledge. Thankfully, Manuela just learned to warp. We need silence on that mage so he doesn't kill us. And then we're gonna move Flame here. And then Violet's here. And the enemy AI is gonna work out such that only one will attack Flame and only one will attack Manuela, and they're guaranteed to survive, so they're not gonna die. And then we're going to use a second stride with Shamir. So at this point, Shamir is not going to be used for combat anymore. She's going to be our stride bot from here on out. Which is convenient because she has 5 move, unlike Dimitri who has 4 move. That was the wrong tile. Yeah, that was the wrong tile.
Yeah, movement's a little tight because Manuela doesn't have very much magic, so her warp range is a little low.
It's 3 right now, yeah. And it doesn't help that she only has 4 move at base, that's the mage. Dancers have 6 move in this game, which makes them pretty good in this game, honestly. Like, even better than your usual dancer. And 6 move is the highest amount of move that infantry classes have, so it's really good.
Stacked with stride and movement staff spells. Dancers can get a little silly in this game. We're gonna see some really fun stuff with the gambit we're gonna get soon.
Oh yes.
I think in this chapter we needed 27 strength, I think, to 2-shot the Flame Emperor, which I think we have like 27, 28, so that should be enough. So we should be fine. Worst case scenario, we can use Rally, which takes a little bit of time, but it's fine.
Have you ever been hit by the Crest of Flames?
Oh, no, don't tell! No, don't remind me. It's gonna happen in this run. No, it's gonna happen in this run. Just trust me, it's gonna happen. So, if you missed my explanation of the Crest of Flames, when you attack, Byleth has the Crest of Flames. So when Byleth attacks, she has a 20% chance of activating it, which heals yourself upon hits. And if you activate that, then you have another 1/4 chance of dealing extra damage and preventing the opponent from counterattacking. Aelgar has the same thing. And yeah, so if she happens to land her hit on me, get the 20% activation, and also get the 1/4 activation to prevent me from counterattacking, then I just can't kill her if that happens. So yeah, a lot of stuff has to go wrong. At best case scenario, it's a 5% chance of her doing that, but again, she has a chance of missing me, and I also have a chance of critting her on the first hit, so realistically, it's probably like 1% or lower, something like that. And yeah, the more you run a game, the more often ridiculous things happen. And this has happened, I think, 3 times total for me so far in runs. So
yeah, we're getting to the point of the run where like there's a lot of defeat boss maps, and there's not. I don't think there's any routes after this, right?
there's no more route chapters. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's pretty much just defeat boss.
there is
from here on
one
out.
route chapter, but it turns into a defeat boss, which we'll get into when we get there. But that's it. All right, so yeah, this is the last chapter of part 1. Halfway point of the run, chapter-wise, except this is actually like where it runs gonna pick up really quickly because
We have
it's only gonna be like 20 minutes left in the run after this.
Yeah, we have so many movement options, and the objectives are all defeat boss, so we can just snipe everything.
Mm-hmm. So Shamir's in a nice position, barely in range to stride up Flame and Byleth. Bonk this poor mage, he's in the way.
Pilot just kind of ran across the entire map.
I was playing out that animation to see if Edelgard would press the flame me. But thankfully she didn't. Okay. So we're in the time skip now. It's very important to make sure Dimitri does not get any levels if possible, because what happens in normal difficulty during the time skip is that every unit below level 20 will get auto leveled up to level 20. Which is really convenient because it means we'll have a level 20 Dimitri right off the bat without any investment. The big thing is, in Dimitri's case, he automatically certifies into his unique class, the High Lord. So he's going to get the base stats of the High Lord as a level 1 unit, meaning his strength and speed are going to jump up to like 14 or 15 as a level 1 unit, whatever it is. And then he'll gain 19 auto levels with the good growth rates of the High Lord. And we want to take heavy advantage of this. This also applies to Claude and Edelgard. And which is why we really don't want him to level up in part 1, because any level up you get is probably wasted since it's going to get overwritten by the certification. So it's pretty common to see Dimitri here have 30 strength as a level 20 unit. 29 is around average. 28, 29. So we're going to see how this Dimitri turned out. He probably stole all of Violet's defense, knowing how my speedruns work out.
I'll comply.
Ooh, the good music.
Awesome music. Wait, this of course this is not applied to hard or mad anymore. So
Yeah, this is a normal mode only thing, so if you missed it in your playthrough because you're playing on hard, then you didn't get to
27
enjoy auto
strength.
leveling.
That's not great, but it's workable. So on enemy phase, Violet has a chance of getting gambited here, unfortunately. It's like around a 20-30% chance of hitting. Where taking 2 iron into account, that's roughly a 10% chance. 10 to 15. But thankfully we didn't get hit, and then we're just gonna gambit the enemies instead to freeze everyone in place. And Dimitri's battalion, which he comes with now, is the King of Blue Lions, or whatever it's called. King of Lion Corp, something like that. It's really powerful. Absurd crit rate gives plus 10 attack at cap, and it has a really powerful gambit, which hits every unit within 2 tiles of the target. So it's a really good gambit. It's like one of the best ones in the game. The only gambit that's better than it is, well, the notorious Ashland Dust, because it's 2 to 3 range. So there's a bit of luck here with the boss. He can either spawn on the top or the bottom. It's random. Top is much better because Violet can just reach him through the wall. But if you get the bottom pattern, then you have to open the door at the bottom and hope you don't die to him, and then kill him on the next turn. But yeah, so that was that chapter. I hope you enjoyed High Lord Dimitri, because you're not going to see him anymore. So yeah, this is where all the goals that we set Dimitri are going to kick in. He should have B Axis and C Flying, which is enough to certify as a Wyvern Rider with a 100% pass rate. He also got C Riding, which gives him Dexterity plus 4. And with his B rank and Axis, he has Axe Prowess level 3, I think, which gives, like, I think 12 hits, which, again, is really good. Really nice. And then for the rest of the run, we're just going to set him hard all in on Axis, so we can hopefully hit B plus Axis for Axe Prowess 4, because each level of Axe Prowess gives you plus 4 hit, which is really good.
Question from chat: did they do deduce paralog?
Serious answer, no.
He died in chapter 2.
He died in chapter 2. Because it's faster. So yeah, the big reason you want to kill off all your units is because, like, each unit you have is going to waste time. It's going to add an extra lecture question per month, which costs like almost 10 seconds each. On top of that, the more units you have, the more stuff they learn, and that means the more time you lose from the game telling you, oh, they learned alert stance, or they learned lance prowess 5, lance prowess 4, or lance prowess 3, and so on. And it's also just convenient to kill off all your units so you have less units to deal with in the preps. And it also saves time because that means you don't have to deselect every unit every chapter. Okay, so... Oh, wait, my menu messed up because I cut the DLC items. Okay. Not used to that, but that's okay.
I must.
So we also did kind of a battalion trade. Byleth is now carrying the King of Lion Corps, which is going to give her a crazy offensive boost. The one downside to a flying class, which is like the only thing they got right about balancing flying classes in this game, is the fact that they can only equip flying battalions. For a good chunk of part 1, Byleth had the Kingdom Wyvern Corps equipped for some time, so she can level it up, and then she just passed it on to Dimitri, which is a battalion that gives a good chunk of attack and I think 15 hit at cap. The main thing we prioritize is hit because again, reliable hit rate is very important.
This
Okay.
chapter is pretty cool because it does start as a route, but there's a way you can kind of speed it up and turn it into a defeat boss instead. This is also probably our big menuing portion for the entirety of part 2.
Yeah, we pretty much did like 90% of our preps right there for the rest of part 2. So this map is a defeat route map. It's a big map. We don't want to kill every last one of them because that takes forever. So we're gonna do something about that when we get there. This is also a defend chapter where if an enemy unit reaches the top of the map, then you game over. So we're gonna have Dimitri kind of grind some experience here and kill every last one of them here to prevent a game over and also get a lot of experience. And again, every stat he gets is useful. That's not named charm or magic.
Yeah, Dimitri's pretty low leveled for how strong he is. So he's actually
Yeah,
gonna like
pretty much.
level up like crazy here.
Yeah. Normally, the part 1 would finish in like 50 minutes or something, but this run was off to not a very good start. But hey, it's okay. So yeah, what we want to do is escort this green unit down here. Because when the green unit reaches that tile and sets the map on fire, and then when you aggro the boss by getting in front of him, then the map's objective changes into a defeat boss chapter, which is much faster than routing. Alright, so we're going to heal up Dimitri here, camp in a forest so he gets as much avoid as possible. I'm going to hope he doesn't get HP on his level up, because Dimitri gets plus 20 avoid while his HP is full, but if he levels up HP, he loses that bonus. No HP, no HP. Of course. If he doesn't dodge enough, he can die very easily there because of the mages. They hit him really hard. But it looks like he dodged basically everything, so... You know. So yeah, now I've aggroed the boss. The objective is kill boss. And then Randolph is just going to go up ahead and try to smack Dimitri, but fail miserably.
Oh yeah, we kind of took advantage of dismounting here.
Yeah. So yeah, another reason why flying classes is so broken is that in most Fire Emblem games, flying classes are weak to bows, typically, and bows are really dangerous, meaning you usually get one-shotted by any sort of bow user. And another disadvantage in most Fire Emblem games is the fact that flying classes cannot take advantage of terrain bonuses. But this game has a really broken dismounting mechanic where you can just dismount to become a grounded unit, meaning you won't be weak to bows anymore, and you can use terrain bonuses to your advantage. And then you can just mount the next turn. It's really broken.
Yeah, you can mount and move instantly.
Yeah, like there is no limitation to mounting or dismounting while you're moving, as long as both mounting and dismounting on the same turn. So you can like move and dismount, or you can dismount then move. You can mount then move, or move then mount. It's so flexible and so broken.
Do we have time for a quick donation plug?
Go for it.
Alright, we got 3 donations that have come in the past couple of minutes. We have one $25 anonymous donation. We have a $50 donation from Spencer Drudge. And we have a highest donation of the day from Spiffy LMAO. All three of these have no comments, but we appreciate your generosity to an extreme amount. Thank you very much.
It seems.
Okay, so from here on out, every chapter I think is a defeat boss chapter or defeat all bosses chapter. So you're gonna kind of see a similar kind of strat happen every single time. One of the reasons we've kept Annette around is because she has a boon in authority, meaning she gets authority really quickly. And Rally is also just really nice in part 1. But the other reason is that we have a unit with A rank authority at this point. We purchased a battalion called the Blue Lion Dancers, which is an A rank battalion that allows you to refresh up to 4 units movement again. And Annette is going to be our secondary dancer for that. Yes, that means you can dance for your dancer in this game. Because it's very broken. You can only do it once per map, but it's broken enough that you don't really care.
Yeah, the gambit is
set up a
AoE.
stride.
The gambit's AoE, so you
Let's
can
clean up.
refresh your dancer on top of other units, so you really do get a lot of distance if you use it properly.
Yep. So we just dance for both Flame and Dimitri at the same time, strided, and then Flame's gonna go in and dance for Dimitri, and then now we're at the boss.
This map is so big, but
It's a pretty big map, and we just cut across it in one turn.
yeah, these tools are like so broken if you know how to use them.
Yeah, so that's gonna be a trend you'll see soon. The next chapter is actually one of the more interesting. It's not defeat the boss; it's defeat all the bosses, which is a bit more complicated than just fly astride Dimitri, dance him, and bonk the boss. Because you can't just do it with one unit at this point, since there are 3 bosses you have to kill coming up. So
This stretch is really cool.
yep. Oh, yeah, so like the Blue Lions run has the Blue Lion Dancers for part 2, which is what makes them stand out from the other routes. The other routes, Black Eagles in part 2 has Raging Storm, which is Edelgard's combat art with the Amir. What it does is it allows her to move again. The game says if you land your hit, you can move again, but even if you miss, you can move again. So the game's lying to you. So you can see how broken that becomes in the Black Eagles route. And the Golden Deer route gets early warp, and they also get clawed in part 2. And I don't think you just get clawed. That's it. Because Claude is like easily the best in terms of just like his class. He's like the best one of the lords in part 2, just because he gets a flyer for free. So you can like commit all of his instructs into only bows. So he actually hits like S rank bows in their speedrun. So he has like a ridiculous amount of crit, and he has pass with 8 move as a flyer with bows and bow fair. It's a little bit broken.
I'm starting to.
There is always.
I understand. I suppose.
Very well.
Technique.
So the
Okay.
stret's actually really cool because it's a defeat boss map, and there's multiple commanders on the map. There's 3 starting on the map, but there's actually a way to skip fighting the 4th one if you clear it in a fast enough manner.
Right. There's like an area in the bridge map where if you end the turn with someone in that area, then you make Acheron spawn, which is a mage and a 4th boss. It's annoying because you don't want to kill an extra boss. So we're going to avoid that area intentionally and kind of do a setup so we can finish off this map in 2 turns.
Whatever it.
By the way, we have 2 units to stride, just FYI. in case you wanted to know how broken the Blue Lions battalions are. Gassetted here also, there's the Blue Lions gets Kingdom Cavalry, which is a D rank battalion with stride. So we have 2 units running around with the stride gambits because Blue Lions.
What's my strategy? I'm your girl. Onward.
So yeah, we're kind of out of range of the Acheron spawn trigger. And then now what we're going to do is have Seth come in and stride every last one of them.
I'm grateful.
And then dance for Dimitri. Dance for Byleth and Flame. Have Dimitri bonk Ladislava.
Why, thank you.
So Dimitri's using the Brave Axe here, and having Dex +4 is actually really nice because it's +4 hit for every attack. And some bosses you need the Brave Axe to kill.
Well, Professor. If this were anywhere but a battlefield.
No, not Blueberry!
I've no choice but to follow the Empire if I wish to live. I hope you will not think ill of me.
He finally fixed his hair.
Rip in peace.
Rest in
F.
a manner that is
How can you do this to Blueberry?
nobility.
Oh yeah, we danced for our dancer, so we're gonna make Violet's move again.
Edelgard has always been obsessed with you. I am a little envious, to be frank.
Okay, don't miss, please.
Impress her with my skills on the battlefield.
Okay, that works. Ferdinand von Ayer is actually pretty annoying because his personal skill, in my opinion, is one of the best in the game, which gives him plus 15 hit and plus 15 avoid at full HP, which is why Violet's hit rates are like set in the 70s there.
And he's
So
pretty
it's
bulky.
really easy for her to just miss him, and then you have to figure something out from there.
He's pretty bulky here too, so
He's also bulky, yeah.
it can get a little awkward. Oh, by the way, we skipped Acheron. Dude didn't even spawn.
Who is that guy? I don't know. In the Golden Deer version of this map, you do have Acheron spawn, but you just have Claude fly to the left and kill everything there, because he's Claude, and then have Violet take out Acheron. But yeah, that's also another reason why Chapter 1, the Battle of the Three Houses, is really annoying in the Blue Lions route, because you again, you have to fight Ferdinand von Ayer, and your hit rate on him is like 70 to 80 because of his personal skill. So it's really easy for that chapter to just die because you missed him. I don't think it happened in this run. Yeah, I don't think it happened in this run. We just got unlucky with level ups. Alright, so with Manuela's question there, I was supposed to answer the top answer, but I just kind of picked wrong and brain farted, but... So I lost like a little bit of time from picking a neutral answer, but whatever. It's not worth wasting time trying to think about it. Just go with your gut. Alright, to War at Gronder Field. This is another defeat all bosses map. So we have to take out Claude and Edelgard. And this is a really big map, so we have to go really far to take them out. But the convenient thing is that we have access to something called auto battle. And there's a really convenient command called Unite, which makes the AI automatically move all of your unmoved units towards Byleth. So we're going to take advantage of that and move only like 2 units on this first turn, and then let the AI just move the rest of our units. Should we play this out? Yeah, let's play it out. I'll finish. I'll finish in less than 2 hours.
He's gonna say the thing. It's kind of a bummer that this only plays in 2 of the playable route. This is actually like one of my favorite chapters.
Know that I will tear your heads from your shoulders. The dead must have their tribute.
As far as big class reunions go... Oh, dang it, I misquoted.
Big class reunions go, this one's got to be the worst in history.
Years ago, we fought here as classmates. But not today.
Kill every last one of them!
Kill every last one of them!
Not shown here, Edelgard raging storming your entire army.
In Maddening mode, if you get in range of Edelgard, she's gonna just storm your entire party. It's kind of hilarious, honestly.
You have fun.
Let's clean up.
Stride every last one of them. Bring Byleth down to the side of the map.
What's my strategy?
Unite.
Every last one of them.
Yep, unite every last one of them. Sedith here is gonna go ahead and stride every last one of them again. Because, again, we have a second strider.
I'll comply.
Onward.
So yeah, conveniently enough, one of our units that we just got for free, Gilbert, he comes with smites already, which allows you to shove a unit by 2 tiles, which is just enough for Annette to do our group dance we need. So again, we just dance for Violet and our dancer with our secondary dancer. Oh, wait, I didn't mean to skip that! Oh well. That's okay.
This strat's so cool. You move so far.
Divine
with,
Pulse
It's a
like,
really cool
different
strat.
units.
Yeah.
I must.
Like, I think this is one of my favorite strats in just speedrunning this game as a whole. It's just really smooth. Like, you see a little bit of a lot of cool stuff. A double dance, 2 strides. You also see smite being used. It's
And
just really
if
cool.
you get to the enemy phase, like you literally just die.
Yeah. Unfortunately, no warp. I mean, we do have warp, but you don't really want to use warp if you can help it, because warp has a bit of an animation that costs time. So you want to avoid it if possible. But the Golden Deer version of this does take advantage of warp. And yeah, there's no other version of this map because, yeah, Silver Snow and Crimson Flower don't do this map. Alright, so Dimitri is now sane and not crazy, and not emo, so he now actually gets axe rank from the instructionals. Yay! Hooray.
He did it.
Top answer.
Professor. That.
So, if you missed my explanation in part 1 for these lecture questions, you want to give the worst answer because that avoids seeing the motivation meter going up and an extra dialogue. It's not much time though, so like if you forgot on the fly, then you're better off just mashing and taking the time loss instead of thinking about it. Part 2, Flane's the top answer, Sedith's the bottom, Gilbert's top, Dimitri's top, Manuela's top, which I answered incorrectly in this run. Shamir's middle. I think that's everyone in this run. So all the tiny little weird things you memorize in a speedrun. Which answer is the worst answer for everyone?
Oh no, this chapter.
Oh
Don't
yeah, this
blink,
chapter.
It's gonna be over in this flash.
So fun fact, I think it was Death Chaos who data mined this. I could be wrong, but there are 2 enemy units that are like just generic bosses on this map for some reason. Let's see if I can find them.
They're in the top corners.
Yeah, like top corner is like this guy up here with the Brave Sword, and there's like a mage here. They were meant to be Annette and Felix. And they were intended to have a second route split here, which is where you decide to go to Enbar or Ferdiad. And if you went to Ferdiad, then you would fight Annette and Felix, and they would leave your party. It's kind of cool that they were planning that, but of course it didn't happen because the game was just
Losing a
way too
unit.
ambitious.
Using 2 really good units this late into the game would kind of be a bummer too.
Yeah. Yay, you said Annette's good. Yay.
Hello?
I'm an Annette fan, so
I like Annette.
but yeah. Hey Cornelia, you're kind of up there guarded by archers. Let me just fly around them and bonk you.
I think this is the map everybody skipped because they looked at it and all the monster enemies and they're like, nope.
Nope. The experience is not worth it.
It's not worth it. But yeah, I mean, I love this game, but I would say like the majority of the major flaws I have with this game can be summed up as it was way too ambitious. But yeah, I mean, it just kind of comes down to if they wanted to release it earlier versus just delay the game even more. So it makes me wonder like how this game would have turned out if they gave it another year or 2. But that's life. Can't do everything in game development.
And speaking of not having enough time, do we have time for a quick dono?
Go for it.
Yeah, we have a $25 donation from a good friend of mine, Xyrophone. Serenes
Nice.
Forest has been my go-to resource for Fire Emblem. And I love you guys for putting time towards a good cause alongside the Reddit and Speedrun community with a heart. Thank you, Zyra.
For some reason, I'm reminded of my Maddening playthrough in Gold, where I've been like dumping everything into Ignatz because he's like one of those kind of underrated units, and I would just want to make him OP. So I've dumped every dexterity and luck stat booster into him, and in this game, every 2 points of dexterity or luck gives you 1 crit. So Ignatz has like 50 base crit with no modifiers. It's pretty great. And like his average strength didn't even matter because he's a sniper with Hunter's Volley. So it's like, why you don't need strength if you can just crit everything to death anyways. It's really fun.
This game's just really cool with being able to customize and make all of your units OP.
Mm-hmm. It's a really fun sandboxy game. You have a lot of options for what you can do with your units. All right, so this chapter actually has this 1-turn strat where you use a dance and but it is slower than what I'm about to do.
Guide me well. Let's hope my orders.
Which is just flying Dimitri up here, unequipping him, then burning a turn. And conveniently enough, with the smite that I just did, Dimitri is now barely in range of the boss without a stride. So, yep. Age complete. All right, we have 3 chapters left in the run. So, like I said, part 2 kind of just blazes through because the majority of the maps are really fast to beat boss maps. So yeah, someone in chat mentioned Judith. That kind of reminds me of the in ALL where you fight Gwendol and in the volcano. In the Blue Lions route, if you take long enough, or I think it's if you hit a certain trigger, Felix's dad, Rodrigue, shows up and he gives you like the sort of Zoltan, I think, if you talk to him with Byleth. You get something really good if you talk to him with Byleth. And then the same thing happens in Golden Deer when Judith spawns, except I didn't know what she gave me, so in my Maddening playthrough, I talked to Judith with Byleth expecting something awesome, and she gave me a freaking concoction. I'm like, oh, okay, great. Thanks.
I think she gives a stat booster to Claude.
She does give an energy drop to Claude, I think. It might be the other way around, where she gives an energy drop to Claude and the concoction to Byleth, or vice versa.
I'd like to
Scammed.
Scammed. It reminds me of that map in Fire Emblem 12, New Mystery of the Emblem, where in most difficulties, in this one chapter, if you keep all the priests alive, you get the silver card, which halves the prices of all shop items. But in the highest difficulty, H3 difficulty, that's replaced by a freaking vulnerary. So, yeah, it's kind of a big troll. I think he does give something to... No, maybe not. I don't remember if Rodrigue gives something to Felix. It's been a while since I played Blue Lions casually, so... So we're going to have kind of a janky double dance setup here, which looks really weird, but the reason we do this is because we don't want to waste time swapping units around and repositioning them. Because every time you enter a menu in the prep, that's a minimum of 2 seconds time loss because of how laggy the menu is in exiting and entering it. So, yeah.
Leave it to me.
Oh wait, forgot to stride. Kind of important.
Let's clean up.
I'm grateful.
I'm your girl. Oh, lovely.
Quite helpful.
You dare stand between me and my pleasure.
Yes, I dare stand against you, Death Knight.
Death is all that remains.
I wonder who that could be.
I was hoping he would. I was hoping he would activate his crest and do 420 damage. But oh well. Dimitri has a crest where he has, I think, a 10% chance of dealing double damage with combat arts, but it uses up double weapon uses.
The enemy general have...
So if it happened there, he would have done 420 damage. That was a complete accident, by the way. I didn't expect the numbers to add up like that, but we take those. All right, yay, we're on the last calendar month of the run. And we're going to come up to 2 of the coolest chapters in a run, where we have to do these fancy shenanigans to clear them quickly. But we'll get to them when we get there, because we have 1 more calendar to wait on. Okay. So yeah, if you have anything to say, this is a good time to squeeze something in, like a donation or 2.
We don't have any new donations, but I'll give a quick reminder of what our event is. This is TeamFE's Extra Life event, a collaborative effort between Reddit's our Fire Emblem Heroes and our Fire Emblem and also Serenes Forest. A group of collaborative efforts between game players, fan artists, and voice actors working together to help fundraise support for the Children's Miracle Network Hospitals organization, which is a group that does all it can to support children through medical research, finding cures for diseases like cancer. Any support you'd be willing to share can both help the cause and also enter you to win some pretty cool prizes. You can type !prizes in the chat to see what those are, and ! donate in the chat to make a donation.
Thank you. So we're in N-Bar now. So fun fact, there's actually a secret battalion in this map. There's an opera house right here, and if you bring Dorothea or Manuela into like this area here, then they make comments about the opera house, and then by the end of the map you'll get the Opera Corps Volunteers, which is a really good battalion because it's Blue Lion dancers except B rank. So yeah, if you wanted a second group dance battalion, you can get one there.
This is like the only way to get the dance battalion normally, aside from Blue Lions.
Yeah, so you can get this in every route besides Crimson Flower, because Crimson Flower doesn't play this map. Okay, so turn 1 is going to be spent kind of doing some setup here. Because unfortunately, Dimitri's kind of in the middle of nowhere, all the way in the corner. So we kind of have to get him over to where we are, do a setup on turn 2.
Yeah, it's kind of a bummer. Whenever you're force deployed, you're always forced into the same position, and Dimitri's starting position is like literally across the map from Hubert.
So
one of the bosses we're supposed to kill.
may have to define post because Gilbert has 2 chances of getting killed by a 2% crit, but thankfully he didn't. So good job, Gilbert. I'm proud of you.
Let's clean up.
All right, so we're gonna stride up Dimitri again, and then we're gonna smite Dimitri through Sedith because that's very respectful. I should turn off animations because I keep forgetting.
We're also at the point of the game where like enemies are so strong, if they really gang up on any of our units, they're probably gonna die.
Mm-hmm. So we're dancing for a stride at Dimitri to come all the way down here. We have to defeat the Hubert, which is the boss of this map, and he's at the very bottom of the map. We're gonna do a group dance here again to get Manuela and Flame to move again. Manuela's gonna go ahead and warp Flame across this fence because this fence is only in blue lines for some reason. It's really annoying. And then Hubert's dead. Hopefully.
Ideally, he's dead.
Ideally, he's dead. Usually, Dimitri will have enough strength to just one-shot him, so if he misses once, that's okay, but... yeah, Dimitri only has like 70-ish hit on Hubert, which is annoying. Oh yeah, there's that chapter. Pretty quick. And thankfully, no calendar in between the previous chapter we just did and the last chapter coming up, so... here we go. We're going to be doing a bit of a lengthy menu here because we're going to be buying 3 support battalions to stack up on Dimitri for turn 1. I'll go through turn 1 a bit slowly so people can actually understand what the heck's going on. Let's see.
Yeah, so we got some powerful tools that we haven't really been using. all that much, but this chapter is so dangerous. Like, we actually do need to use some of them.
Mm-hmm. And thankfully, we're Blue Lions, so we have like the most broken
Like
battalions
all-
in the game.
We have Blessing, Retribution, Stride, Warp, like all these really
Oh,
cool
whoops.
tools to take advantage of.
Is that the one?
Is that the one? Is that the one? Alright, so Byleth is gonna go in the corner and hide. Shamir, as our strider, is gonna go ahead and stride Dimitri and our dancers and our warper. Seth's here. He has Sacred Shield, which is a really good battalion because really good gambit. What it does is every range attack will deal 0 damage for this turn, which is really broken. On top of that, we're gonna use Retribution on Dimitri, meaning Dimitri will counterattack everything no matter what range they're at.
Leave it to me.
So now we've got all of our support skills set up. We're gonna go ahead and dance with Dimitri. Group dance for our dancer and Manuela.
I'm your girl.
All 3 of these units have been like super helpful this entire run, and now they're kind of just getting thrown to the walls.
It's so sad. Alright, so I'm gonna put Dimitri in like this tile here. What's gonna happen is that there's gonna be like a bazillion meteor mages that are gonna try to kill Dimitri and will do a bazillion damage to him. Also, like a lot of mages that have Ragnarok and do like 20 to 30 damage on him. But because we have Retribution and Sacred Shield active, he will take 0 damage from all of them. And Dimitri is also just gonna kill everything on enemy phase that attacks him, even if they're attacking at 10 range. And also counterattack Edelgard when she attacks him at like 4 range.
Rip.
Rip our ladies. Nice music glitch. Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
Leave it to me.
So yeah, now it's just a matter of spending some turns, taking out Edelgard's health bar. Ideally, we can just take out a health bar on an enemy phase with the Silver Axe, but Dimitri unfortunately doesn't have enough strength for that, so we just kind of have to chip away.
Yeah, this fight is annoying because Edelgard regenerates her barrier like every turn.
Mm-hmm.
So you're dealing like what, half damage?
You're always dealing half
Normally.
damage, and there's no way for you to destroy her barrier and attack her on the same turn. And her barrier also prevents crits, so you can't like get lucky with the crit.
On top of this, like there's still enemies on the throne room that Dimitri's kiting by moving back and forth.
Yeah. The last thing we're going to do is use Impregnable Wall, which is a gambit where all 3 of these units will deal 1 damage and also take only 1 damage. And the reason we do this is so we can keep Violet safe and not die, because there's going to be a massive storm of enemies coming towards us soon.
So the longer it takes Dimitri to kill Edelgard, the more at risk Violet and the starting group is at.
Mm-hmm. But yeah.
So it's really smart that we're using Impregnable Wall here to keep everybody alive.
Well, yeah, the run's gonna be done in a bit, so get the timer ready. Time.
Okay, she's dead.
She's dead.
There we go.
There you go. Well, that's Blue Lions in a nutshell. The record is, I believe, a 1 hour 22 minute time by Claris. My personal best is a 1:23, which is also a run I'm kind of happy with because, yeah, it's pretty good. But yeah, that just kind of goes to show how much time variance can happen if you don't get things to line up properly for you, especially with gaining only 1 defense in your first 20 level ups. But yeah, it happens. It happens.
It happens. Happens to everyone.
That's marathon luck. It happens. All right, spoiler alert. Where did that lance come from? I thought Dimitri used axes.
See, I know what went wrong here. Edelgard didn't have Raging Storm.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, you're right about that. And then Dimitri ended up using Atrocity on her. All right, but yeah, that's GG. So thanks for having me. This was fun. Thanks Quio and Gwimpage for hanging out.
Always
Next,
a pleasure.
we have Path of Radiance with same people. Well, Gwimpage is running it this time, so that's gonna be exciting. And no enemy face skip, so you can actually see what's going on.
Yeah, this next run is going to be a pretty different run compared to what we just saw here, thanks to the mechanics of days gone by. Is that right? Well, to wrap
Plus
things
side,
up,
no
you did
counters.
earn a couple last-minute donations that came in right over the turns and cutscenes. You got two $50 donations that came in, and also a $1 donation. $1 from Anonymous, 50 from Ali Talis, and 50 from Aria. No messages on those, though. So thank you very much for your support. And Kirby, again, thank you for that wonderful run. You're not going too far away, though, so we'll be seeing you in a few minutes.
Yep, see ya.